There are many different countries where there are different races and religions living side by side, and they're able to ratify UN conventions, they're able to implement human rights law, they're able to find modus operandi, vivendi, to ensure that peace and tranquility is maintained. You know, human rights in the international system, the duty bearers are governments, which mean that governments have the responsibility to protect the human rights of all. So, you know, when we don't see that happening, you know, when we see the step back from these rights pledges, it raises some real concerns about the political commitment, and that is, I think, the core part of this. Andrew's question was, you know, is democracy functioning in Malaysia? Yes, it is. And I mean, and I'm saying don't have the debate, have the discussion on this. But the problem was that the government was not even basically prepared to have the discussion. They hadn't thought it through, despite the best advice by a lot of people that, you know, there are certain ways to approach these issues and go forward. You know, we can chalk that up to inexperience by the government, but the reality is, once you've made a decision that this is an important thing to do, you should follow through on that. You know, we're hoping that the government will reconsider withdrawing from the Rome Statute, because we think that the International Criminal Court is a very important part of the infrastructure of the international human rights system. And at a time when the Philippines has withdrawn from the International Criminal Court, you know, it was important to have Malaysia really as you know, a new leader on human rights in the region. And I think that actually the government, or parts of the government, do want to be seen as a leader on human rights in the region. And they should be. So, you know, have the debates, but the thing is, it seems to us right now that there's more of a willingness to wait to another day, which may not come, for when everything's going to be wonderful and we can pass this treaty with no problem at all. That's not going to happen. Not with an opposition that is basically playing destruction politics. The reality is that no matter what the government says, they're going to face opposition from UMNO and PAS. You know, the question is whether they're going to find the stomach to push through or not. You know, without divulging, you know, private conversations, I've had discussions with ministers in this government, you know, who told me that they thought the situation at the Malay grassroots was, was so murderous it reminded them of Rwanda. And I'm like, what? Where is that coming from? You know, there is somehow a fear of public opinion that is running through this government that is disconcerting, entirely out of proportion. And the reality is that they need to understand that they are elected, made commitments, follow through on them, and things will be all right.